Good morning, everyone. All right, how's everyone doing here? Looks like the crash was postponed again. Um, I can hear all the tweets being deleted currently. But anyway, ES here with a pretty good pop off of PPI, so that also came in cool. And we had like a mini trap at like it's basically SPX 55, sorry, 7550. So right around this level here, about like 97-ish, 98, right around there, 95, 97. And NQ at 29.9. So that was a trap level I talked about in the overnight. This did get a nice pop. I'm just holding my runners from yesterday still, which are doing very well. I did give this out as a reclaim level, but yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more. It kind of popped through it. I'd like to see a little bit more of a consolidation here, or at least a dip on ES or NQ. We probably get that on the open. But right now it looks pretty good here and I'm not saying this happens, but it's certainly on the table that we could trend here. You got 7550 here on the cash S&P. We're above that now. 7600s on the board, and then you can see the SPY here. The 757. I mean, that's only $3 away. Now we're at 754 pre-market. That's your right tail. And the Qs, they actually have a little bit more upside because we haven't really pumped as much yet. But yeah, 730 is potential. We talked about this yesterday as well. And I think I think we hit like 724 or something like that. We maybe got to 725 pre or in the overnight last night. But yeah, it can get up there here. And again, this wouldn't be like a massive trend from where we are. But it would be a decent move. If we look at the NQ again, you can see there's that 4 hour inverse head and shoulder. So if that triggers, there's a good amount of air up to, there's just kind of air right here, and then even above that. So we'll keep an eye on it. ES has the gap. I talked about that as well yesterday and Monday. I said this will probably fill later this week, and it's working on that right now. So right now, ES holding up pretty well here pre-market. Bonds were kind of limp, or like initially. They are starting to wake up now. ZB, yeah, there it goes. So starting to wake up a little bit now. It was pretty limp though. We got the reaction. The 2 years had a better reaction though. The 2 years definitely had a better reaction. But I think the war kind of stuff is holding that long end down a little bit more. Whereas like the short end is a lot more rate sensitive, which makes sense. Gold and silver getting little pops here. Gold up a little bit. And then we got DXY obviously down on the news. We'll see what that does here. If that loses, this these like 100.5 area, that's going to help the market out. It's going to help out precious metals, needless to say. Oil holding up right now, so that did stall out at 80, as we thought it might. 120 USO. It's still kind of supportive, but it is a bit of a call wall too at the same time. So I don't really foresee it like blasting through there unless something changes. But right now, ES holding up pretty well. And yeah, I mean, not a lot between here and all-time highs, honestly. If you really think about it, we just clear the lines here. I mean, if we get a push through, through that gap, you got like a little pivot there, a pivot there. But I mean, what are those at this point? NQ is a little bit, a little bit different, but still, in pretty good shape if it can clear 30,100. So we'll probably get some sort of at least an opening range dip on the open. I would look at that for reactions for today. But so far pretty good. I mean, we had the pump yesterday. We just digested it in the overnight. Heard some people talking about like, oh, the market didn't react well to CPI. And I thought it reacted just fine. It pumped, it got overbought, and then it just kind of digested that overbought condition. So I don't really see that. anything terrible here. We didn't leave. We're certainly not leaving any air, right? We're not leaving any air on the downside or on the upside, on the way up, which is usually good because now we got that pump and now look how much we filled that air out. We filled it out completely here. Yeah, ETH and BTC. Yeah, nice move there for ETH too. Yeah. 1750 is, like a lot of acceptance there. So that was a nice base. You'll have some trapped buyers around 2K, maybe 2025, and then really like I know 2150, that's a level that's been a big point of control for a long time. And then we got, BTC here that's trying to inch up through this here. I think we'll probably, I'm kind of thinking there's a little bit more of a pause here, and then tomorrow I think this could really trend if it wants to. Sol was the leader on the way up, and now it's kind of backing off a little bit more. But there was a ton of supply up here, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, they've acted much better, much better. And as you notice, like as we talked about that, as the leverage kind of comes out of the Kospi, it starts to balance out in Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin getting a little bit of a pop here. It looks like, yeah, it looks like it just did. Yep, there it goes. ETH 2. RTY a little soft compared to yesterday. Dow still holding up. And oil still being pretty sticky. Yeah, TLT, it should be able to get, yeah, it got right back to 84 there. Let's take a look at TLT. That's for today. It should be 84 as a put wall for today. I would imagine it hasn't changed. Yeah, it's not changed. Now Friday's different. There is I don't think it's going to get down here. There's a little bit of hedging there for Friday at 83. I don't think it gets there. I think that was just like a tail hedge for CPI and PPI. I think 84 is the floor for the week. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it can pop back up to 85. But yeah, a little definitely softer. Definitely the long. I think the war stuff is what's like holding that down. Because you see on the short end, like I said, the short end's moving back up. It moved back up on this data and on yesterday. So yeah, whereas the 30s, they're a lot firmer here on this move. So yeah, let's see, 10 maybe putting in a lower high. I don't. No. I think that's already been the fact that everyone's talking about the carry trade, like dumping semiconductors, it tells me that's probably not going to happen. Um, and I mean, I can tell that they're getting ahead. The reason why this is happening is because they're getting ahead of this. Like the BOJ's telegraphed this for months, and you can see the semis have stalled out for months. So they're unwinding that leverage. But I mean, yeah, there's always the air pocket risk. If I see more of that, I'll say something, but I don't really. I just don't see that happening. Like the market's not gonna make it that easy. Vixbury is also next week, just so you know, it's not today. Yeah, I've been thinking about the quantums here. they have pulled back pretty nicely. Ion Q there, RGTI as well. QBTS. This had a nice bull inside bar here that failed, but there's a lot of supply up there, so I'd like to see this maintain a higher low. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't, but I'd want to see for these. I think for me personally, I'd rather let them show strength and then buy in the consolidation, because if these don't, you know what I mean? Like if these don't, if they can't manage to keep momentum going, like that, that's what they have, right? That's what these are. Um, like right here, you had the big move, but if you just waited, you could have gotten it for, under $10, and then you got a huge move out of that. And even right here, right? If you just waited for the consolidation, you got a 2x right there. In this case, this could just be a bigger version of this, right? But we don't know that yet until it really shows itself a little bit more. But yeah, I've definitely had them like in the back of my mind. It's like bonds still going here, so that's good. Yeah, I see PayPal up, so retail's now only down 88%. Um, I don't know if it's that good. I'd give it the upside bias to 60. I'd give it the upside bias to 60. See, it's gonna, yeah, see, I'm not getting my date on it. It's going to 60. It's a nice gap, but what would really scare shorts if it gapped above 65? And even then, there's so much supply above that. This is gonna be a long road for this thing, for this thing to actually have a real recovery. VAT. I think that's a different, is that on a different, I don't know. Yeah, SpaceX probably gets defended there. I was looking for it to get to, if it pierces 135, it's probably gonna get defended. 130. I actually looked at that this week. Yeah, it should be good there for this week. Yeah, LCID. When they come out, yeah, you know what also I don't like is when they come out and say, we're gonna adjust our guidance like a month before earnings come out. That should be illegal. Um, if you're gonna do that unannounced and you're not gonna give people a chance to hedge, I know this is a totally different situation, but yeah, I mean, somebody just wanted to get people out of this. It might be bullish. We'll see. But all right, a little after 9 here. So yeah, watch. I mean, dips back to here would be of interest. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah, ES is acting okay. And there's upside to 757 SPY here today, and 730 QQQ if the Qs get going. So anyway, come join us in the trading room. We'll have fun. If not, we'll see you in the later video on Cowboy Trades. Anyways, you guys take care. See you guys all later.